Hello, here we are again, checking out the garden. I thought I'd make an update here. So the Rose of Sharon looks a whole lot better. I trimmed it down, it's coming back to life. Good to see that. The compost pile still just sits there. Plum tree sitting okay. Our grasses are really starting to take off. My sunflower pole beans are, well, they're there. They haven't grown a whole lot, but I think they'll still take off pretty well. The red Freddy basil looks good. And the hop plant is still going up. At the bottom I got another little vine. It is a cardinal climber. It hasn't really done that much. Oh well. And closing in on the vegetable garden, the anise hyssop or anise. I don't know, some people say it either which way, I'm not really sure. It's looking okay, it's just starting to flower. And there we have the red buckwheat, which looks pretty cool, and the calendula, rhubarb, the lilac bush, oregano, walking onions, I got some white peas I just started over here. And tomato plants have definitely filled in a lot. There's a fair amount of fruit hidden around. Not too many ripe ones yet though. More of the red Freddy basil. I really like the taste of this basil. And we got a patch of marjoram over here. And the blackberries are producing fruit. None are ripe yet. Looking forward to having some of those. These are the second year bushes. And the okra survives. It hasn't really taken off. I've harvested a few of the smaller plants. Are maybe 18 inches high now. And pole beans haven't got any beans yet. Hopefully they'll be soon. They're getting pretty tall. Another view of the tomato plants. Hungarian strawberries are getting pretty big. Last year we did German strawberries. I couldn't find seeds for those this year, so we went with the Hungarians. And the Japanese eggplant is doing, or eggplant, cucumbers are doing pretty well. There's a lot of them on the vines down here. And there's all the little yellow pear strawberries. And the onions are looking pretty good, starting to bulb up. That's the other section of beans, the Blah Hildy, I guess. Chinese broccoli is going to flower. I don't know if any of it's good or not. We haven't harvested any for a few weeks. And this is where one of the garlic beds was. So we got garlic chives and another section of peas that I started a few weeks back, radishes, and I had beets over here, but I think they all got eaten by slugs. And some coriander in the back. Cosmos is looking pretty good. And the lemon cucumbers are coming up. It'll be late cucumbers. I planted them pretty late. It was maybe a month ago, 5 weeks, I'm not sure. And over here, this is getting some of the powdery mildews. I don't know, I might pull it out. They'll look real good. Not appetizing at all. And the Oriental peas are climbing. Look, we've got a watermelon. The vines haven't gotten that big, but usually they really take off this time of year, so we'll see. There's a few other little melons in there. I still got a couple months to grow. And a bunch of buckwheat over here. I got a couple volunteer tomatoes that I let go in the back, and some lettuce going to seed. And the kale still hanging in there, fighting the cabbage aphids. I think I'm winning slightly over the cabbage aphids. Summer squash is starting to take off. We've been harvesting pretty regular. Uh-oh, powdery mildew. I better start spraying some milk. Pepper plants are really getting big. Oh, and these are the perennial prairie sunflowers. They're doing pretty nice. So they flower late in the season. We'll see how that goes. Calendula is looking pretty good. The last of the spring pea plants. And these are late pole beans I put in here. Should take off. Volunteer parsley. One section of the pepper plants. Looks like I got a variety of things coming in here. And the eggplant, the plants are looking pretty sturdy. They just started putting a couple little fruits out, so I imagine they'll take off before too long. The other section of peppers. It's looking pretty good. I haven't harvested a lot of peppers yet. Tomatillos seem to be doing okay. Maybe they really were growing gangbusters for a while, but they seem to have slowed down, and that's the section of lettuce I'm letting go to seed. Have to get outside of the rabbit barrier to continue here. This was a volunteer tomato I put in probably around 4th of July, and it was only a few inches big, so it's done pretty well. It's probably a yellow pear. Some okra I planted around the same time, first week of July or so. This is where the garlic was. Basil plants I direct seeded also around the same time. Not much has come up over here out of seeds. And we've harvested most of the currants and still a few gooseberries if we dare to stick our hands in there and not get poked. And the onions that I direct seeded are looking okay here. This bunch of onions here those are bunching onions, and those are Austrian brown behind me. And shallots here getting ready to harvest. This kale plant that I still don't remember its name. Sage plant is still getting as big as a bus, well, maybe a Volkswagen bus. And this section of basil is not really taken off. I'm not sure why, but oh well. Those were lemon and lime basil plants. Another section of oregano. This section of basil is doing a little bit better. I like the red Freddy. I'm not really sure what these other few are here. And this section here is just cover crops, basically buckwheat and field peas, clover. And back behind all of this here, there is asparagus. I probably need to clear this out. So it's coming along pretty good.